Counting down the top 5 Eagles of all time with Elliot Harrison. I'm Will Sullivan. Number 5, you have Harold Carmichael.
Yeah, Harold Carmichael, a forgotten player in NFL history. And Will, it's unfortunately a testament to the fact that the wide receivers' numbers have been so inflated over the last 10 to 15 years that guys like Harold Carmichael, who caught 500 balls in the NFL, a huge number for someone who played in the era he did, is forgotten. At one time, he owned the record for most consecutive games with at least one reception. Steve Largent broke that record, but Harold Carmichael, multiple 1,000-yard seasons in an era, just didn't happen. 6'8". Talk about a red zone target.
Absolutely. Number 4, Brian Dawkins. Beat Doc.
Yeah, Brian Dawkins, man, could do it all. When Brian Dawkins came into the league, we just did the top 5 Cowboys of all time. He said that Darren Woodson was a guy he patterned his game after, and he played like Darren Woodson, maybe even better. Brian Dawkins could blitz, he could cover, he could hit, and he was an impact player when you needed that big play. Also the emotional leader of the team. Ultimately, I think he'll end up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
No question. Now at number 3.
Yeah, this one is very
We're
close to
busting
my
out
heart.
the stills, so you know it's a little bit older.
Hey, Steve Van Buren was one of the first, if not the first, pre-1950 player I read about. That's on my Twitter page. If you ever go to @HarrisonNFL, you'll see that picture. That is the lone touchdown from the 1948 title game. Steve Van Buren was a big back who led the NFL in rushing multiple times, had over 1,000 yards. Will, when they played 12 games in the elements, over 1,000 yards, that means you're averaging 100 yards per.
That's unbelievable.
It is. No face mask. Steve Van Buren, big back, a foot injury, kind of derailed his career.
But you know, you look at that photo, that is what you think of football, right?
It is.
In the snow, they're bashing each other. That is what football is all about.
And it was the first guy I read about. Steve Van Buren, a legend in the Philadelphia area.
Also another legend at number 2, Reggie White.
Yeah, Reggie White. You know, it's easy to say, well, Reggie White played part of the time with the Packers, and a lot of our viewers will think of him as a Packer, but really, this guy's an Eagle. Reggie White played 8 seasons with the Philadelphia
Eagles. That defense
Eagles.
was really good.
Oh, man. The only year he didn't make the Pro Bowl was 1985, and that was just because it was a great year and a great era for defensive ends in the NFC. But by the next year, he was a stalwart every year, getting all pros. I mean, the guy had 21 sacks in a 12-game strike-shortened season.
That is unbelievable, too. And at number 1, Chuck Bednarik.
Yeah, it's got to be Chuck Bednarik, man. Chuck Bednarik started with the Eagles in 1949 as a rookie. They won the NFL title. He started midway through his rookie season. He would play all the way into the early 60s. You see that missed 3 games in 14 years.
Wow, talk about consistency there.
That's the 1960 NFL title game right there, Will. He played both ways, played center and middle linebacker because injuries and whatnot forced him to. He was the last of the two-way players in NFL history, recently passed away, and in my opinion, the all-time greatest Philadelphia Eagle.
Well done. Should we recap? Here it is. Elliot's top 5 Eagles of all time. Number 5, Harold Carmichael. Brian Dawkins at number 4. Number 3, Steve Van Buren. Reggie White is number 2. And number 1, Chuck Bednarik. And you will be here during the offseason counting down all 32 teams, all the top 5 players.
That looks cool.